as I described it, and I was telling somebody today at work, it's the perfect chick flick for a guy to take his girl to. For an Eagles fan, because it's all about the Eagles and it's all about football. And I said to my wife at the end of the movie, I said, for Valentine's Day, we're getting an Eagles jersey. You know that, right?
That's funny.
But, yeah, so a couple more quick questions I got to ask.
Yeah, no problem.
Randy's family, how come you didn't have them in it, or they didn't want to be part of it, or?
Well, they weren't really there during the Quiet Riot years, you know. I maybe saw his mother or his sister or his brother at one show, you know. They really weren't involved in any of it, so there really wasn't anything that I didn't know that I needed from them in the movie.
And that was another thing I was wondering, too, because as I was watching, I was like, you never see, you know, his brother. I never knew he had a sister until, you know, probably maybe even 10 years ago. One of the where we get together at his gravesite, and I'd seen the pictures, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know he had a sister. And you know, I knew about Kelly for years, and you just never saw them around. I was like, I wonder if we're like there supporting. It didn't seem like they were.
Well, the movie's about, you know, it's called Randy Rhoads, The Quiet Riot Years, but it's really a story about, you know, the friendship of Randy and Kevin and the other two guys, and Rue and Kelly, and then Rudy in the band. So it's not really about their family. You don't really, yes, Kevin's mother's interviewed in the movie, but she's like speaking, you know, for Kevin because he's obviously passed away. So
right.
But it's not for that. It's all about the people that were there. Not, you don't see. We're not talking about Drew's brother or sister, right?
Right.
Or Rudy. Rudy has a brother, Robert. Nobody's really, you know, they weren't around. It was us people. We were a family. The people in the movie, that was the Quiet Riot family that is part of that time. And you know, my mother didn't come to any shows, so you know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I was just wondering, because I know Kelly is always, you know, proud to, you know, talk about Randy and, you know, the Randy stuff. As a matter of fact, I was watching a video last night I came across with Frank Hannon, the guitar player from Tesla, just went recently over to Musonia, the Rhoads family.
You know what? That's actually old. That's from
really?
That's from like 3 years old, yeah.
Is it really?
Somebody
okay.
Somebody put it up as if it was new, but it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I watched it. Where he interviewed Randy's mother?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Two more questions.
I'm not sure why you went over there to do that, but it's kind of interesting to watch.
Two more questions, and I'll let you go.
Sure.
All right. The first question, and I guess you would be the one to ask this, especially since you worked with Quiet Riot during the mental health years. One thing I always thought to myself, did Kevin try to get Carlos to look like Randy?
I don't think he tried to get him to look like Randy. Kevin, you know, he might have said to Carlos, play this a little more like Randy, but Carlos actually plays really well on that Mental Health album, and I don't think you really see much, actually hear any Randy-influenced stuff on there. If you want to hear Carlos play really great, in 1994, I actually executive produced a Quiet Riot album called Down to the Bone. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
You have it?
No.
All right, get a hold of me and I'll send you one. That Carlos plays great on that record, and that is a really good record. So, you know, he might have, you know, Kevin loved Randy so much, but I don't think he was really trying to get Carlos to be Randy.
I always
answer your question?
Yeah. Here, my whole thing was I would just see him in that era, and I always thought to myself, he's got the black. It was always that black and white striped vest in all the videos and the pictures and everything. And I was saying to myself, I wonder if Kevin made him.
Kevin always had the stripes. He had the stripes in Quiet Riot. So for Carlos to have a striped vest, I guess that more went along the theme of the stripes. But can I interject one little tidbit that would be an interesting thing maybe for you to hear?
Absolutely.
There's a picture. There was a cereal. It might have been cornflakes. It was a Kellogg cereal. I don't remember which one. And they had some kind of a promotion where on the back of it They were like doing some kind of rock star thing, and
Okay.
but it was supposed to be a generic rock star. Well, they used a picture of Carlos on the box. Kevin helped Carlos get like $5,000 or something for them using this picture. So they did it without his permission.
That's awesome. That is too
I wish
funny.
I had that cereal box, but I can't remember the exact details. But that's kind of a little tidbit that nobody really ever knows and talks about. Not that it's something to talk about, but it's a nice little trivia thing.
That's funny.
Yeah. There's one other thing you wanted to ask me.
Actually, it wasn't even a couple of statements, I should say. The one thing was, another thing I didn't know was how Randy's nickname was Snoopy. And that picture, as soon as you put that picture up, I said to myself, wow, he looks like Snoopy in that picture. Next thing you know, you guys are saying his nickname was Snoopy. And then I was like, wow, now I remember there was a picture in the tribute album in the inner sleeve of him holding the Snoopy doll.
Yes. And if you look on the Quiet Riot 2 record, and you can see pictures of that in the book, he's got a Snoopy doll in his locker, in the locker room, and there's a picture of him with one of the football players, and he's got the Snoopy doll in his hand.
Yep. As a matter of fact, I have it here right in front of me. I tried taking a picture and send it over to you. I have my Quiet Riot 2 album. I got it ordered by Kevin and Rudy when I met them a few years ago. But and the only other thing was, I got to say, Quiet Riot, I've come to realize after watching the movie too, they were the true hair band before hair bands were popular. Like they set the tone, and they were ahead of their time, and that was the bottom line. They were ahead of their time, because they had that pop hard rock sound, and they were just ahead of their time. That's all you can really say about them. That's unfortunate, but
hey, yeah, well, it was a little too much too fast, I guess, because that album went to #1, and where can you go from there?
Right, exactly.
But it's interesting that Randy, got successful on his own with Ozzy, and Kevin kept slugging away and finally made it with his band.
Well, I always said too, like after they they broke out and they went to #1 and all, I always said to myself, that's Randy looking down, and that's his little gift to Kevin. You
know what? You just totally might be right. Like, there's a weird, I don't know, I have dreams sometimes, and Kevin and Randy are in my dreams, and I always tell people they're visiting me from heaven in my dreams.
That's awesome. Ron, I can't thank you enough. I could sit here and talk all night to you about this stuff. I really could.
All right, well, you never know. Maybe we'll do it again, but you certainly know where to find me, and, make sure you remind me to send you one of those Down to the Bone records. I will. Again, I can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for becoming a friend. Everybody who's listening, go to redmatchproductions.com. Get this DVD. Get this book. The book, it's a huge coffee table book. Tons of color pictures. I mean, there's probably, 150, 200 pages in this thing. It's 240 pages. And I'll sign your book. And he'll sign the book. It is freaking amazing. Probably one of the best Christmas presents I got since last year, I'll say, because my wife will kick my ass. But it was amazing. And, Ron, I can't thank you enough again. So go to redmatchproductions.com. Buy this. Go like them on Facebook. There's a trailer on Facebook. I also put it out. I'll put it on our page. Check it out. Ron, again, thank you so much, and I will be in touch. All right, great. Thank you. Nice talking to you. Nice talking to you. Take care. All right. Bye. Wow. I'm blown away, Frank. You notice I just kept quiet through the whole interview. I was like, you know what? I want to interject, but I can add nothing to this conversation. And a good performer always knows when to just stand back and let somebody else take the spotlight. Brother, that I was just marking out huge for the stories and everything. And I'm kind of jealous that you're getting that CD too. I wanted to be like, could you make that too? But I didn't want Ron to say, well, who the hell is this? He'll be like, was there somebody else on the line with us? There was another Eagles fan there? I felt like a stalker, actually, because I'm just sitting there listening, eating my potato burrito from Taco Bell. And oh, you didn't do three McRibs this week? No, I got sick from them last week. I think I'm cured. You're cured? You're probably sick.
But it was just funny because I'm listening and I wanted so much to interject, but I was like, at this point, I don't know what I could add to the conversation, so I just let you two talk, and the stories were great. I mean, a lot of stuff I didn't know, and yeah, I do recommend it. Everyone check out the trailer because the trailer alone hooked me, and I'm gonna hold Ron to my autograph too when I get my copy.
He just texted me, Frank. He said, "I'll send one for your partner as well."
That's awesome. Yeah, again, man, like I said, I'm one of the people that didn't discover Randy Rhoads until almost the end of his career, and like I said, I've become a huge fan, and I am so pumped to see this early stuff because they just don't make them like that anymore, and I think being a rock and roll fan, you're going to have to appreciate that. And you know, I'm big on history, you know, when it comes to sports, but when it comes to music, man, you gotta pay your respect where it's due, and I think that Brand, you know, in my opinion, he's one of the best, and you know, being a Quiet Riot fan and all that, I actually was supposed to go to that concert at the Tower. And I don't remember what. Oh, that's right. I got robbed that night. That's why I didn't go.
Upper Darby was a lot nicer then. Come on now, Frank.
No, I actually got robbed in my own house.
Oh, that's even worse.
We'll tell for